run and gun, if I need to catch a flight to Arizona real quick, I can break all this down, shove all of this in my backpack with the exception of maybe like a tripod. So I've been sick and I've been thinking a lot about the R50 V, and to be fair, I would be gatekeeping if I did not tell you guys about this rig. I've made videos kind of mentioning the camera in all of its glory, but this rig right here, I think is without a doubt one of the best rigs that you can get without spending an incredible amount of money while also keeping the quality high. And I'm really not just barking up the wrong tree. Like, I was honestly blown away. Like, I was shocked, okay? Now, why did I decide to get a lower budget camera in the first place? Well, at the time I had a lower budget, and so I wanted to have two cameras, two R50 Vs that I could use that would still have pretty good quality, or at least was usable until the next upgrade. To be honest, I think I'm gonna keep using them, and here's why. This rig right here, I think, can build a career. Now, how does this stack up versus a camera like an FS5, a cinema camera that's 12 years old? Well, for starters, let's just go ahead and point out the things that they do have in common. Crop sensors. So for me, I've worked with crop sensors before. A lot of movies are shot on crop sensor cameras. It's only recently that full frame has really kind of taken over, but for me, I was like, whatever. Okay, number two, what's the quality like? And side by side on paper, you don't really get the best quality out of the FS5. Now, granted, I do know that as a 12-year-old camera, but for relatively the same price, would I benefit from going mirrorless versus getting a cinema? And the answer is yes. Now, there are things that this can do that this cannot. But overall, I think I've covered all the bases when it comes to power, when it comes to quality, when it comes to output, and when it comes to usability. Now, here's how. The first thing that I ended up buying off the rip was the monitor. The monitor is great. Any monitor is great. I haven't had the most fun with this specific monitor. I think I may have just gotten a faulty unit. We'll talk more about that later, but monitor was key. Now, why is that? Because manual focus requires a really keen eye, and if you miss the focus, you could be back in the editing room just pissed off. Now, how do you avoid that? Well, you could obviously use the screen it comes with, but you get more of a good picture when you're looking through a monitor versus like the little LCD screen. The other reason is that this camera for $700 actually shoots log. So if I have any LUTs, I want to be able to see them. I can't actually see them on the camera. The next part, the transmission system. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but you can buy a transmitter without buying the receiver and still use it if you have an iPad or any phones, because most of these transmission systems use applications. Now, for me, this is great because if I'm recording like I am now, I'm not using it, I can see myself, but I can hook this up to the camera, get the digital feed, and if I am plugged in through USB-C, if I am plugged in through USB-C, I can actually control the camera. I can control the ISO, I can control the aperture. Well, actually, I can't control the aperture on this lens, but I can control the ISO, the white balance, and the shutter speed. And that's massive if I need to be, away from it, or if I'm working with a director on something really small, he can just adjust that really quickly. Now, granted, this is not something for a big set that you'd want to use. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. The next thing is this Cineback light from Camera Foundry. I primarily got this for the USB-C outputs to power the transmitter and what I'm going to talk about next, these Rode wireless Go's. Now they fit so perfectly in here and it just feels very aesthetic. I put it on rails and just kind of made it work, but overall this one battery can power all of these different components and all controlled through one power switch. That's huge, right? Now, before you would have to, unplug the battery to make sure it's not being used, turn off the camera, manually turn off the monitor, and you don't really have to do that. Very similarly to working with something like this, right? You just have one power switch, everything comes on, right? And in theory, see how long it takes to come on. It's on, you know, whatever. Same thing. So 1 kill switch, that's huge for me. Now, instead of running a shotgun mic, I'm typically running more documentative style stuff. So I do like to lav people up, boom. So I just kind of keep this here, and if there was any case that I needed a shotgun or something was boomed, I don't run XLR. How do I fix that? Well, I'll just take this transmitter, if you can see that, and just plug it in to 3.5mm jack. Now, obviously there are better ways to do that, but I am constantly on the go, moving and doing things in a very run and gun manner. So this just works for me. You know what I mean? Like, I do know that there is some merit to having the XLRs like this and having that direct input. But to be honest, like, if I am getting hired for that, I will budget out for that and just use a DP that has that. But for me, like, there hasn't been anything that's called for more, at least when signing the check. And so outside of that, I was like, you know what? This will only ever be a cinema camera, right? I can't break this down and turn this into a mirrorless body and just start taking photos with it. You know what I mean? Like, now I can pull stills and you can do all that, and there's workarounds and there's internal NDs, but for the price point, I could fix that up. And this right here will start a career. If you didn't know any better and you weren't a videographer, like, which one would you say costs more? In my opinion, if I had known nothing, which I did at one point, I really did used to think that these cost a lot of money. And I built this for like under 2 grand, all on Amazon. I could just take a battery, slap it on here, turn the camera on, connect it through an app, and now my client can see all of this, and we're going all day on 1 battery. So, you know, run and gun, if I need to catch a flight to Arizona real quick, I can break all this down, shove all of this in my backpack with the exception of maybe like a tripod. But even the light that I'm using right here, the 60D, I need all of this to go in a backpack if I need to go shoot something tomorrow. Man, I highly, highly, highly recommend building your camera out like this.